This is the 19th season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, Aftco, Pro Guide Batteries, X-Zone Lures, Shoreline Boat and RV Repair, Spro, Gamakatsu, Big Bite Baits, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
All right, we should be back. Give us a thumbs up in the comments if we're back. I went ahead and just jumped off of the Wi-Fi. All right, instead of the Wi-Fi. All right, we're good. Let's just start this over. We are live from Minnesota at the 25th. This is the 25th St. Jude Dick Hiley Bass Classic in Wabasha. I am with you've been described by like 15 people from around here as a legend. Not only in this tournament, but as in the area in Minnesota angling community, Scott Bonema. We're going to talk a little bit about the tournament, but also a lot about kind of Minnesota bass fishing. So thank you. I know you haven't even eaten dinner. You got off of the water and jumped in, but thank you for jumping on BTL. Greatly appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for asking. Yeah, so we've got the St. Jude's event coming up this week, so we just showed up. Do a little practice tomorrow, pretty limited for us, but the St. Jude's, we'll talk about that more, but it's really a tournament like no other. There's obviously a lot of guys who are very competitive, want to win this thing, and a lot of other guys that are here solely for a fundraising aspect of it. And we've been part of it for 25 years, so it's pretty exciting to be here, and they'll get more into it later. But
have you fished all 25?
I missed 2.
Okay.
And that's it out of the 25 years. Yeah.
Holy cow, that's impressive.
Yeah, we were founders, so I can tell you a lot of stories about the whole program. But it's been a great event to be a part of, and honestly, it's changed lives in so many ways. A lot of the kids that we were trying to help 25 years ago, they have kids now.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing, and when you see the transformation. Not only from where we started as just a bunch of competitive anglers, it's a great idea, let's raise some money, to now being a part of the St. Jude's program in a huge way. It's a pretty special feeling, it really is.
Last year was my first year to be a part of it. Bartuzek brought me in. I'm friends with Fat Cat. He was like, you got to do Fat this Cat because he MCs the event.
He's the real deal.
But I've talked to some guys. You said you were part or there for the original St. Jude. Now, preface of this with, I believe this is one of, if not the best top kind of fundraising charity tournament just from top to bottom as far as the amount of money that's raised, the cause that it's raised for, and how the tournament is run.
Right.
I mean, would you agree with that? You've been around a long time.
No question about it. Fish tournaments from one end of the world to the other. This event, like I say, was started because we had a lot of great competitive anglers looking for an opportunity in the spring, maybe. And it started 25 years ago, like I said. And I was fortunate enough to win that first one myself.
Okay.
But over the years, I've seen some unbelievable. The guys are so much better today as well, obviously. But the angling community came together. That first year, dude, we only raised $11,000, and we thought we really did a lot, right? And this year, the numbers are over $1 million.
It's insane
for 1 year. And it was a couple of years ago. I think we finally got to just under $6 million total. So it's a staggering number. It's certainly the largest bass fishing charity event in the nation right now. And the team that puts it together have assembled a fantastic group of volunteers. The local clubs have joined in. We got Greg Gazuski and the guys at the Waymasters do just an incredible job. And for a lot of us that don't have a lot of time, we still want to be here to be a part of this event. And really, the tournament starts. We have the weigh-in the first day. It's a 2-day event. And we have a banquet that first night after the event. And it's a tearjerker. It's unreal. And that's really what gels everybody together. It's the kids of St. Jude's and why we're here.
It is. And I think just shy or right at $7 million after the $1 million this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it was 776,000 last year, and that was the high water mark. So, guys, I keep harping on this. You know, if you listen to BTL, that I talk a lot about this. We did the fundraiser where we raised over $2,500 just in BTL St. Jude Bass Fishing Saves Lives t-shirt. So big shout out to anybody who bought one of those t-shirts in February. We were up here with Adam Bartuzik and the Crappie Chronicles at Giesenbrauer. I never say that right. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Giesenbrauer Beer Company. I'm assuming that's got to be German.
Oh yeah, no, it's all German around
and
here.
I'm serious. Sure. Like you go there, there's like 19 beers on tap. And
the Beer Stubby. It's probably the place.
No, it's called Giesenbrauer.
Giesenbrauer.
Anyway, the lowest alcohol is like 8%. That's like the lowest you can get. It's like they have limits on it. It's like 16% alcohol beer.
There you go.
This stuff like has like stuff dripping down the sides. It's like drinking motor oil. Anyway, long story short, we came up here, we raised a bunch of money for that. But I harp on it because I think that we could get this event even bigger nationally, bringing more people in. And I'm saying, like, for BTL listeners, this is a great event that's usually held in the first week of May that you can make like a vacation out of, raise money, have a chance to win a little bit back, and really have a worthwhile weekend.
Right. And honestly, for those that are interested in doing it, the location that we have really put our flag in is in the city of Wabasha, which is right on the Mississippi River, right? And it's backwaters, tons of backwater area, some of the finest fishing scenery in the world. It's just in the middle of nowhere. It's just a fun place to fish with a lot of fish, and you're going to see some great weights come out of the fishery. We have a lot of great smallmouth pushing the 6-pound range. I think you whacked one last year close to that.
Super lucky.
But we all do, right? Yeah. But tremendous largemouth fishery, right? And the elites that like to spend a lot of time, open events, things like that have been down in the lacrosse area, which is really just the next pool down. From
how many?
Here, so.
How many pools is that down to actually lacrosse?
Lacrosse is 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
We are on pools 4, 5, and 5A technically. Okay.
So it's just a couple pools.
It is, yeah. We're only an hour and a half south of the Minneapolis metro area, so.
Anyway, if you guys have, if you guys want to get involved, this, like I said, it's typically the first week of May. You're talking like duckweed, frogging, top waters, current, smallmouth, jerk baits, flipping. Like you can do whatever you want.
You can fish your strength no matter what it is, right? It's a great place. Really
and for a great cause too. So you can I just always Google Dick Hiley St. Jude. Did you actually know Dick Hiley?
I was a good friend with Dick. And originally it was just the St. Jude's Bass Classic. Dick was one of the founders.
Okay.
And I want to say we're into it like 5 years, and Dick got cancer himself, and he ended up passing away. So we renamed it as a tribute to Dick, because he truly was a unique individual and had a passion for the kids of St. Jude's. Lived in the Rochester area, really, again, just a great guy. I'm proud to know him. But it's kind of it's life, right? We have had some fantastic people part of this, anglers as well. And over a period of 25 years, you lose some great guys. And so we never forget those guys, because they're the reason we're here. You talk about St. Jude's, you don't really know the impact until somebody you know, this child has a cancer-related illness. And I'll share one more quick little story with that. We created an award here a couple of years ago for Rick Pelletier, used to be my fishing partner here, and Rick and I worked together for many, many years. And Rick as well had a passion for St. Jude's kids, and went out of his way to do fundraising. And really, fundraising was easy to do for St. Jude's. That's kind of the fun part about it. But Rick really embraced this event, and he passed away. And so just a couple of years ago, unexpectedly. And the reason I share that story, because we have an award now that we give out to individuals. It's called the Rick Pelletier Heart for St. Jude's event, and it's not based on your fundraising. It's based on the individuals that really have a passion to do what you're doing, right? Talk about the event and raise it to another level to help the kids of St. Jude. But St. Jude's obviously does all the work and has the medical staff. It's unreal. We get a chance to go to the hospital.
I'm going there the 13th.
It'll
14th.
change your life, dude.
Yep.
I'm telling you, Matt.
Gretchen got us hooked
it's
up
amazing. You will leave there a different person.
Awesome.
And I truly mean that. I had the opportunity to go there 25 years ago. That's why we're still doing it, because you never forget those things. But what they also do, not only in saving children, they share that technology today instantaneously with people around the world. And Rick Pelletier's brother, long story short, got involved in an accident, had the electrical accident, and it was touch and go on that. But they did all these blood tests and realized that his real problem wasn't the electrocution he received. He had cancer and didn't even know it. Small cell leukemia issue. The doctor here at the Mayo said, I know everything there is about it. We've got all the information from St. Jude's Hospital.
Oh, wow.
And that's how we've learned. And today, he's a survivor and doing really, really well.
Wow.
So it impacts not only children, but people around the world. So yeah, it's a very special program that I'm obviously quite proud to be a part of.
Absolutely. There'll be more information on that. Like I said, you can follow that on the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic, Hiley. That's kind of how I started that. And then I realized you probably knew Dick Hiley, which I knew I didn't. So I just Google that. So you can keep up to date on that. They'll have a video after it. They'll have an update on everything that's going on. If you want to follow the tournament, we have a couple more days of practice, and then it's Saturday and Sunday.
Right. We also teamed up with the St. Jude. They use the Real Live app that we use.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
But the world, if you will, can log into the Real Live app tomorrow, and they'll be able to see the photos of fish that are being brought across the board, and they'll have the tabulated weights of everybody.
Like a live leaderboard.
Like a live leaderboard. And that will be on the Real Live app as well.
Let's piggyback into that, because that's one of the other reasons that I wanted to have you on, was because we've had on BTL over the last couple of years, I've become good friends with Joel Willert, and then we've had Noah Schultz on the show, who's won like 4 boats in Minnesota now and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's unbelievable what he's done. But I like to highlight some of the unique things. Like, I feel like each part of the country has different region, whether it's the Alabama Bass Trail or what you have with the Texas Team Trail or the Nichols Marine in Oklahoma. You have Wombat, bunch of stuff that goes out west, a bunch of different team trails. This is a unique part of the country, I feel like, in Minnesota. You guys have a very unique trail. It's would you call it like Minnesota's kind of own professional trail, which is...
Yeah, it really is. It's a regional I do use the term pro level tour because our guys fish elites that have fished our events as well, right? High caliber of anglers. It all started, gosh, I want to say we're in our 8th going into
called Classic Bass.
Yeah, Classic Bass was, it's a long story. We can go into that, but
I would love, this is a podcast, so feel free to.
Classic Bass was a website that was created many, many years ago. In fact, it was the first original bass fishing resource website.
Okay.
Started back in the 80s.
Okay.
Late 80s.
Okay.
By a gentleman named Lauren Davidson. And long story short, Rick Pelletier, who worked for me, said, hey, I think we should buy Classic Bass. It was available. And Rick said, I'll take care of it. And we ended up buying Classic Bass for basically little.
I'm very interested in this because that's how Bass Zone started back in the 90s with Mark Jeffries buying it, and it was one of the
right. And really what Classic Bass was known for in the day was just a site that the local fishermen could go to see where all the bass fishing tournaments were, the dates, the locations, etc. And so everybody could kind of plan their year out on that. And then it added some content as time went by. And Rick had the intent at that time that, we'll take it more to a national level and offer more content, etc. And
because websites were exploding.
Right. Everything was happening, right? And so that's kind of where it went. Shortly thereafter, realized that managing all tournament directors to get the dates in on time it was a total disaster.
Dude, my first job on Bass Zone was to manage the Oklahoma tournament.
Oh, there you go.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, and you're relying on information that, you're getting secondhand almost, and then you're trying to publish it. We made the decision a number of years ago to get away from the tournament date listing because there were hundreds of them.
Yeah.
10 member clubs and big events. So we just kind of got away from that. We decided at that point to take Classic Bass to a high level content site and try to do that. My personal experience was bass fishing tournaments from California to Florida, etc., chasing all that stuff. And we had some really good high level bass fishing events in the region, Minnesota in particular, back in the 90s. Silverado Trails, the Don Shelby U.S. Invitationals, and some of those events. And it all kind of fell apart. Not by design, but because MLF was starting, the FLW tour, was going on.
BFLs and then Toyotas, Invitationals, Opens.
And so guys were kind of doing all this stuff, and sponsor money was getting pulled here and there. But it kind of left a void in our region. Tremendous bass fishery, tremendous anglers, but no real venue for them to go at. And we just decided that you can't just do it. Anybody can put in $50, $200, go in $1,000 and lose money at the end of the day. And we decided to take Classic Bass as the basic platform, and we created what's called today the Champions Tour.
Okay.
And that's really the moniker that everything is under, is the Champions Tour. And we limited it originally to 30 anglers. Today we're at 65 anglers.
This is what, 5 years old?
This is our 8th year.
8th year.
Yeah. And we utilize catch, record, release as the tournament. Every fish counts. So it was similar to the MLF style format, right?
Okay. Have you been doing that the whole 8 years?
The whole 8 years.
So this was the only catch and release, which would have been MLF, which I believe was established in 2011, which started just with the cups, the first one there on Amistad. But this was years before the BPT or any of that.
To a degree, yes. And the thing is, MLF came out with and there's no disrespect.
They had the Way Live track
They had
and all
the
that.
sword tracker
Yeah,
software, and there was a couple others that were out there,
Yeah.
and we like, oh, this is great. We'll just use those.
Little glitchy. I'll be the first. You don't have to say it. I'll say
it. They were a tournament director's nightmare to a degree, right?
Yeah, I fished in a Podunkers club that we tried to use that app.
Good data in, good data out, bad data in. It's a nightmare because they did not allow easy access to change the data to make it correct without going into all those kind of gory details. So at that point, like a year into it, said, well, we need to develop our own. I knew guys that had the ability to do that. And so we created the Real Live Well app, which is a app that's available
like
today.
On your iPhone.
It's free to anybody. Go to
Real Live Well, REAL.
REEL.
Like fishing reel?
Right.
Real Live Well app.
Yep.
Okay.
And you get it on Android or iPhones, whatever. It's free. Anybody can use it. Clubs use it.
Okay.
And we don't really promote it because it took, I'll say 4 years to really get it to the point where it's bulletproof today. And it allows the use of a weight. You can do length measurement. There's length to weight conversions in there. That is a formula that the DNR, based on northern fish, that can be used.
Yeah,
and then we also have, trust me, we deal with all
saw
kinds of
some today. There's some weird shaped bass.
There are some, yeah.
They're more tall than
they're
more tall than they are
right?
long.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then also video, which is also a great way to do it. We utilize it specifically in the Champions Tour, and it's been
so all your anglers
anglers
log into it. Do you have marshals as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we did though is we decided to bring in the youth. So all of our kids are the Minnesota High School, the Student Angler Organization, youth. So they're high school kids, and they are mesmerized by these guys, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, the kids say you know how to use an iPhone better than I do. But it's very easy to use. Very, very easy to use. So the way our tournaments work, the angler catches a fish just like they would anywhere else. If it's over a pound, they weigh the fish. It counts. They take the weight of the fish. They write it down. We still always have a piece of paper. The angler needs to initial that they're in full agreement. And we take a photo, not of the scale of the fish for a hero shot, and then we release the fish. Guy gets start fishing again. But we went with the youth to really allow our anglers to mentor to them, to show them how to do things properly, the etiquette of the sport, how to really understand what they're doing. And the kids are amazing. It works great. It really, really does. Never have issues from an angler to a boat marshal. And then what we do, we have 3 qualifying events, and then we have a championship. The anglers pay for the entry fees for the 3 qualifying events. It's $3,000 total. $1,000 a derby. $1,000 a derby.
Affordable yet meaningful to where you can actually have a little bit of juice in the
first place is $13,000.
Oh wow. Okay.
100% payback.
Yep.
Period. And then at the championship, they fish for a fully rigged skeeter bass boat and all kinds of prizes and cash. 0 entry fee. And we only take the top 32 anglers to that event.
Okay. So I'm going to make sure I get this figured out. So you have the qualifying and the championship. Then you have the Champions Tour. Is that a different series?
The Champions Tour is what we're talking about. There are 3 qualifying events.
And how do you get into that?
Pretty hard these days.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I'm teasing.
I mean, no, but seriously, because I mean, this is
right. So what we do originally was an invitation.
Okay.
Had to start somewhere.
Yep.
Today, Champions Tour anglers get the first right of refusal.
Okay. So they're kind of grandfathered
in because they've supported the tour so long.
Yep.
But over the years, guys, they're coming and going. We typically have about 20 spots.
Okay. And
they're on a first come, first served basis. So as soon as we have a date that the pro guys have to sign up by, and then it goes open to the public.
Okay. And then, so I mean, I'm assuming that goes like that.
It does.
Like
It goes pretty quick.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Not so much in the early days.
Yeah.
It does today.
Yeah.
Because of obviously, what we weren't doing then that we do now is that we put in a tremendous amount into social media.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Bartusic Media doing our videos. Every show is videotaped, sent out to the masses, and with it, and it's live because we have real live. We'll go on live all day long. Social media is just skyrocketing.
So that real live will.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just say I want to go out and have a tournament with like 5 or 6 of my buddies.
Yep.
Can we use that
Yes.
for that?
Yes.
And it's free.
It's free.
So how do you make any money off that?
They don't really make any money. It's been a passion of mine,
Okay.
and we just developed it. And so let me put a couple of. It's free to anybody to use. You go online,
Yep.
put your data in. It asks you how many fish you want to, because you could do 1 fish, big fish. You could do 5 fish.
Oh,
it's not
okay.
just for all fish.
Okay,
And
so
that's
it works for anything.
it'll
If I
work.
want to go out on Lake Thunderbird in Oklahoma this winter with 5 buddies and we each throw $100 in the
Yep.
pot and we want something instead of, here's what it was. We can all download it. We can get on there, do it,
Yep.
and we're good to go. And it's like, and you can see what everyone else has while you're doing
Exactly.
it. You
And
can,
that's up to you too.
so you can make that.
So you can kind of make it a secret to the anglers if you want to. I don't encourage that because it's part of the head game.
So you clearly designed this because you've been a tournament
I'm a
fisherman
tournament.
your
All of
entire
our guys
life,
on
so you've
staff
thought
are
of everything.
all anglers. We use.
How is this thing not like massive across the country?
Just haven't really put the effort in to take it to.
Do you
that
want?
level.
I mean, do you want it?
I wanted it to be right because there are some that are out there right now,
Yeah.
and I'm not impressed with them.
Okay.
No disrespect to them because I understand the problems associated with an app, and most of it is just in education. So we've put a lot into the videos, online videos, tutorials, if you will, how to set it up for tournament directors as well as anglers just to go use it. But the clubs are starting to use it, the Wednesday night leagues, and they're loving it because here's why. For example, I was just at a bar grill up by Brainerd. There's a club up there doing it, and the owner came over to thank me. We had a little meeting there to thank me for the Real Live app. And I'm like, well, why? He goes, because everybody's out fishing. We put it live on our screen, and everybody's following along for that 2-hour window.
Their
right?
wives,
They're watching.
girlfriends, buddies.
And that's the fun part about an event is that everybody gets to see your fish.
Yeah.
Mom, your cousins, your buddies from California.
Because you can do a picture
It's
with
live.
it too.
Exactly.
A video if you want.
A video if you want. It's up to you how you want to set it up. And that's really the reality of where that technology is. It allows everybody to see it, not just the people that go to a weigh-in.
I didn't know about this. So I was talking with Bart during practice today. I said, I was talking with Gretchen, and we mentioned on the show I want to get Scott on because he's been around, and he's like, dude, like he created that app, and I was like, no, what are you talking about? And he's like, the Catchway Release app, and I'm like, oh, okay, and he's like, no, like it's
legit.
It's legit. Is exactly what he said. And so I feel kind of bad that I didn't know about it before today. But he's like, dude, you need to talk to him about it on the show. And then I did some more investigating into it.
It's starting to grow quite a bit for that reason, right? But here's where it comes in from the money aspect of it. If you're having a tournament, I don't want to sell here. That's not what I'm doing. But
I'm asking
we
you
have
about
a BTL tournament.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Lake X.
Yep.
All right. And you have all of your sponsors.
Yep.
We customize that app so when you go to it, all of your sponsors pull up.
I got
you. All the banner ads and all that are yours. And for that, you tell us what you want. We can give you a quote on to whatever that might be 200.
So if you're a tournament director, then you can actually sell that to your sponsors.
Exactly.
That all these people
part
who are
of your
logging on are going to see
contributions. You're
it,
going to get this,
and then you get a price. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
So, but yeah, we don't charge for the use of the app. We don't charge the kids.
I mean, I was curious because I do BTL. That's my living. So
right. It all started because of our relationship, really, with the high school program.
Okay.
It's like I'm not going to charge high school kids to use it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many There are thousands of kids that use the app and all these virtual programs now in this region of the world are using our app, and they love it.
Do you have people in another part of the country? Can you tell where they're from?
Oh, I can, yeah.
You don't have.
So we did some internet.
Minnesota?
We've got a couple of international deals. Just some people down in Texas that are using it.
Okay.
And it's starting to grow because people are kind of talking about it now, but we have not gone out of our way to advertise it or push it. I mean, it's really not a money thing to me.
It's kind of more of a passion thing.
It's been a passion.
Yeah.
And that's what started the Champions Tour, because we felt as a part of our team that there was nothing here. And we've built it to a level where there's a reason people want to watch our guys.
Is that still at classicbass.com if people want to know more about the
Yeah, you go to
Champions Tour?
classicbass.com, Champions Tour.
Okay. Are there like links to the Real Live Well app and everything on that? So classicbass.com.
Real Live Well technically has its own website, but it's all linked right there.
Okay. Do you have like contact us if there's like clubs or people who want to have more about the Real Live Well app, or in the area that want to figure out when the...
It's all right there.
That's really interesting stuff.
Yeah. No, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun.
All right. I know you have not eaten dinner. I'm going to let you eat dinner, but first, let's talk a little bit about what's going on out there for the St. Jude. It's totally different this year because it's typically, like I said, the first week of May, where you're talking spawning fish and all sorts of stuff. This time in the fall, it's kind of a cool dynamic. I haven't been out there with the low water and all sorts of stuff going on.
I haven't fished it yet. I get my first chance to go out.
Oh, you haven't been out? You haven't caught 150 white bass a day yet? Oh,
no,
unless you're frogging for largemouth. If you just don't have anything hanging over the side while you're fishing another, because a white bass will eat it.
Oh, yeah. No, and it's Minnesota has been in a drought all year for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we've been dealing with really hot temperatures this whole season.
Yep.
By now, that should have kind of dissipated.
Yes, not.
But last week, it's been hot. This weekend, boom, of course, tournament. We've got cold weather coming in. We've got some winds coming in for practice. Guys are going to have a tough time practicing the next day and a half. And then the tournament starts. So
it's going to be cold.
It'll be cold.
Like it's upper 30s, low 40s.
Right. The thing is, these guys... a lot of these guys are river rats. They're really good at what they do, and we'll still see some big bags. The fun thing about it is the species dynamics, strong largemouth and strong smallmouth. And so the guys that pattern that out should do quite well.
6 fish each day.
Yep.
Usually takes somewhere between 20 and 22 and a half pounds a day.
Right.
So you got to average 4 pounds.
Yep.
Still probably going to take that even in the fall with
no
the
doubt
field.
in my mind.
Got 78 boats, I think.
Yeah. They had a little tournament downstream of pool or two, and I think they had 20 some pounds the first day, but it was a little stingy. The bite still might be a little stingy.
Fish.
That was 5 fish. I expect these guys have been catching. They'll know where they're at. So I'll be surprised. Tremendous fishermen here. It's a lot of fun. So there's a lot of competition going on. But I mean, the whole event is fun. We have one of the fantastic blast offs in the morning, if you will.
Yeah. Who's the dude? What's the guy's name who, when you idle out and he sits there, he goes, and go, and go to every single guy.
Give me a second. I'll
dude, that dude, that's the greatest
he's been doing
thing.
it for years.
Is that the thing? Like last year, I
deal.
looked at Adam and I was like, "What the heck is that?" And he goes, that guy just does that's his thing,
deal.
man. No. Like it was like straight up like the NASCAR flag for every single person you had.
Oh, that's a great job. Again, tremendous.
Just jacks you up.
Yeah, the community, all the St. Jude staff that comes. And we have the fire department and the police department there with the flag and national anthem and all that great stuff. It's just a fun event to be a part of. The city welcomes us, right?
Yeah, no, it's all there. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna let Scott go get something to eat. We're gonna bring in then a he's been on BTL before, Joel Willard, fished the Opens for a long time. You guys probably recognize the name. He's been really close to making the Elite Series. Took this year off, but because of guys like you and organizations like the Classic Bass and the Champions Tour and all that had somewhere to go fish.
Yeah, he did really well.
And actually got a win in
Yeah.
that event. So he's been out there waiting.
Yeah.
So Scott, I thank you very
Pleasure,
much for
Matt.
jumping on.
My
That
honor
was
to be
awesome,
here.
and it was
Thank you.
learned. So let me get on here and throw up a commercial, and then when we come back, we will have Joel Willard on.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Hey,
See ya.
guys.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
Everything you need, one legendary brand. Top 1 Strike King.
Elite Series Pro Daryl Gleason here. My Pro Guide batteries keep me going on those long tournament days and long practice days. Always plenty of juice, never fail. The best part about Pro Guide batteries, it's the people behind the company. They have over 40 years experience in the battery business, keeping all of us fishermen out on the water longer, catching more fish. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
What's up, Bass Talk Live fans? Brandon Polnick here. And ever since I won a couple Bassmaster Elite Series events on X-Zone Lures, I've been getting a bunch of questions of what makes them so special and different. And really, the truth is, it's in the details. The little details, things like no cheap fillers in their plastic. That gives you more lifelike action, more realistic and vibrant colors. But don't just take my word for it. Go to www.xzonelures.com and check them out for yourself.
The great thing about the new Sensation soft plastics from Big Bite Baits, heavily scented, super soft, buoyant, comes in 7 great new shapes. I've got a couple of them of my signature series, the cliffhanger worm and the ramtail craw. Great for a flipping jig, football jig, swim jig, all that. Several other great shapes. Really excited about it. We've worked over the last year, catches fish all over the country, and I think it's going to catch fish for people everywhere you try it. The Spro Little John crankbait has been around for almost 15 years, and it is one of my go-to crankbaits whenever I need a fish in the boat. So you can never have enough new colors. That's why Spro's coming out with a handful of new colors, including Pearl Shad, which has this bleached out white look, but it's got this pearlescent, really pretty. We've got Copper Shad, which looks amazing in the water. It's got that purple flake on the back, really pops in the water. And then if you want some real pop, we've got Sparkle Shad, nothing but sparkles all over this thing. And then last but not least, we've got the matte Sexy Shad, just a really different looking color for a crankbait. So you want to give them a little different look, that matte Sexy Shad is definitely the one to go with. All these colors are available in the original Little John and the MD.
All right, welcome back, BTL. Is it Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
Yes, it is Wednesday because the restaurant we were going to is closed on Wednesday.
Okay.
So we weren't able to go there.
Yeah.
BTL on a Wednesday. Folks, I'm not going to lie. I was I wouldn't call it a diet, but I was trying to get with the program. And then I came to Minnesota with the cheese curds and the Spotted Cow by New Glarus Brewing Company.
It's actually a Wisconsin thing.
That's a Wisconsin thing, but we're right on the border.
Right.
So then you drive across the border to get the Spotted Cow. Diet's not happening. Joel Willard, you guys remember Joel Willard, been on BTL before. talking about fishing the opens, and then actually talked with Scott about how when he made and his group came up with the Classic Bass Champions Tour. I mean, dude, that's like fit you perfectly for taking a year off of the opens, jumping in it, and then you won the first one. So, I mean, is that as legit of a tour as it seems like from the outside? And from talking to Scott, it seems like that's a really cool regional deal for guys who want to be serious.
Dude, it is, man. I had so much fun fishing it this year. This was my first year fishing the whole thing. I did actually fish a couple of opens a few years back, but yeah, went all in on it this year. And I mean, there's no other tour up here that you can go fish for a brand new boat.
Yeah.
And then the payouts are just, they're awesome for, your return on investment if you have some good tournaments.
You said what, $1,000 entry fee?
$1,000
and then fee. 13 to win plus incentives. You were like 15, 16K, and you were like less than 2K in.
Right. Yep.
Which is the entry fee for the opens.
Yeah. No,
I mean, there's still something about chasing the Classic, though.
No, I mean.
So did you miss it this year? The last time you were on BTL, you were basically saying, "Hey, have done this. I fished the MPFL, which was $35,000 entry fees. The opens, which is $16,200. Traveling around with the topper, $50,000, $60,000 out of pocket before you even make a cast. And then this year you stayed closer to home. Less stress, less pressure. Did you miss it? Did you enjoy it? Like what was that like after basically a half decade of traveling around?
Yeah. I mean, I did miss it, of course. I mean, got to meet a ton of great people out there on the road, and a lot of the guys that I camped with and traveled with and talked with, have won opens this year, and that made me miss it even more. But I also really enjoyed myself, back here at home. I just moved up to Mille Lacs earlier this spring, and I've been fishing out there a bunch, been doing some guiding, and just really enjoyed only driving 2 hours from the house to go fish a tournament. And I mean, to be honest,
you probably hadn't fished a ton in Minnesota over the last 4 or 5 years.
All the lakes that I fished. So I fished the Champions Tour this year and the Minnesota Bass Nation Team Trail.
Okay.
And had a great year fishing both of them. And honestly, I think all but one lake I've never been to. So
really?
In Minnesota. So
AOI in the Team Trail?
AOI in the Team Trail, yeah.
Did that pay anything?
No, but it got us
got a plaque.
Yeah, I got a plaque and a ticket to the national championship with Harris Chain.
So is that the last Classic spot?
Yep.
So you're still alive. That's ironic.
I'm still alive, man.
That's ironic.
Yeah.
You don't fish the opens this year, and you're still alive for a chance at the Classic. You don't get an Elite Series berth.
No Elite Series berth.
But you're alive for a chance at the Classic on Grain in Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've been there.
Been there, yeah, handful of times. Like it. It's probably actually one of my favorite non-grass lakes in the country. So,
let's talk a little bit about lacrosse. We talked about how that was one pool down. About the Mississippi River out of Wabasha and the pools that we're fishing. Like this is a dynamic fishery. So like I was out today and like you get bit every 3 to 5 minutes by 98% non-bass right now, but
right.
It's fun to go out there because there's always something trying to eat your stuff.
Dude, it is such a fun place to fish. Honestly, I don't have a ton of experience down here. I've fished the St. Jude's a couple times, but it's always been in the spring. And this time of year up in Minnesota, man, I'm up chasing smallmouth up on Lake Mille Lacs and even further north. I mean, there's so many different bodies of water up here that I can go fish, and I just never seem to come down to the river. So, I mean, it's all new to me down here. I mean, I'm having a blast catching those white bass and the drum and pike and everything else. It's just a fun place to come if you want to just catch a bunch of fish, and the fishing's always good. It seems like,
You do the separate partner practice deal because you're fishing with
Scott Pellegrini.
Yeah, Scott Pellegrini, who's also fished the opens before.
Correct, dude.
But how does that work dynamic-wise as far as practicing out of different boats? Because, like, Bart was like, hey, why don't you bring your boat up here? And I was like, how about I don't?
Right.
Because it was like 11 hours on a river. So,
makes sense.
So I said, no, I'm just going to jump in the back of your boat and have fun, which I did. I took a nap today. I ate a Lunchable, I got to work on this. I ate a Lunchable, 2 Snickers, some meat snacks, some Gatorades, took a nap. Target, like anytime he pulled it away from a pike, I would cast on top So I would catch it. Like I had a great time today.
Dude, that's fun.
But how do you do the separate practice? Like, how does that work? Like, do you guys like separate? Like, hey, I'm gonna take this section and I'm gonna take this section. Do you guys just go fish? Do you call each other constantly during the day? Like,
yeah, I mean, we're calling each other a lot, but kind of each night, like last night, we kind of broke down the areas we were gonna fish today. I said, I'm gonna take this part of the river right here, this section, and he's like, I'm gonna take this section, and then throughout the day, I mean, where I went today, there was no bass that I found. So I called him at like 11 o'clock and said, dude, I got to get out of here. I'm just wasting my time. So, we kind of game plan throughout the day. And, I'm just Scott's got a lot of experience out here. He's, started catching fish. And I'm just out there kind of running whatever looks good to me.
You taking his boat or yours in the dirt?
I don't know. We talked about taking mine for the Phoenix first flight. So,
oh yeah, because
more
money.
Yeah,
was it 7,500?
Yeah, I think I'd have to look and see what tier this one is, but yeah, I mean we've had good luck down here. River's treated us both really good over the years, and we're like, let's take my boat, and just in case we win, we can get that extra money. But we'll see come game day whose boat we're gonna take. Because if we take mine right now, I don't have a whole lot of weight points out there.
I mean, even though you're not fishing the opens, you're still like on the water all the time. Like you're still pretty much fishing full time.
I've actually fished more this year than I've fished in the past handful of years. It's just if I'm not out tournament fishing or practicing for a tournament, I get so much time now to just go fun fish.
How's Mille Lacs now? Is it healthy?
Good. Really?
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I mean, all you hear outside is like, oh, Mille Lacs is getting pounded now.
Yeah, I mean it's
still. But then you see Josh Douglas on Instagram, and you're like, oh yeah, no, like 24 every day.
Yeah, no, I mean the lake is great. I mean it's fishing really good. I mean, people up here say that it's getting pressure, and it's getting a little bit more pressure over the past few years, but it's not like a gunner.
What's like a typical good day on Mille Lacs? You're catching how many?
I mean, it depends on the time of year. Like right now, you're going out there, you're catching a ton of fish, and you're probably going to catch anywhere from 23 to 27 pounds out there.
Oh yeah, so it's still.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean,
that's jammer.
It's so when I guide out there, my goal, and I know Josh's goal as well, and a few other guides. Our goal is always put our clients on 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, I've never not had a 20-pound.
Do you do the Josh deal where it's out-of-state guys, multiple days?
Yeah, I mean, I do mostly out-of-state. I do help Josh out when he was fishing the Elites this year. Some of the trips that he had booked when he was out of town, I'd help him out and take some of those trips. And yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily just cater to out-of-state guys. If there's some local people, or I took a guy out this year that was from Minnesota. He wasn't, he didn't have his own boat or didn't know the lake at all, and I'll definitely do that.
Do you do the electronic stuff too? Because you've got everything on your boat, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm running all Homebirds.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any other electronics, but
you do like the 360 and all that, and the mapping. Because I mean, you're always up on the front deck like this. So every time I go past you, so like you do kind of the instructional thing too, if that's what people want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Where can they get? I mean, just Instagram. You don't have a. Do you have a website?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, fancy.
JoelWillerFishing.com.
JoelWillerFishing.com. All right. If you want to jump out on just Mille Lacs or.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go anywhere, but
not here in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that come up here from out of state, especially, want to go catch big smallmouth, and Mille Lacs is it's a world class fishery. There's tons of big smallmouth swimming around there, and they a lot of times are easy to catch. So
opens coming to Minnesota and just to pull down next year. Any burning desire to get back in that game, or is that?
Man, there's yeah. I mean, there is, of course. It really comes down to sponsorship stuff, and getting everything. I just financially, being able to go do it. It's crazy, man. Fishing,
And they haven't even come out with what the actual like entry fees and stuff are this year,
right?
And I've heard rumors that there might even be more than 1,800, but that the payout's going to be deeper than.
Okay.
I have no idea. That's just
which should be cool.
You're in the industry, hear rumors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm just kind of taking it day by day, and
if not, you're back to Champions Tour,
and fishing around the house. I mean, I had a good year this year, and made more money this year fishing around the house than I did last year in the opens. Even taking the top 10 in the open. So, I mean, it's great. I mean, obviously, I want to just fish for a living, make the Elite Series someday, and have a chance at the Classic and all that. But I'm just kind of taking it day by day right now and enjoying being on the water and having a blast with them.
What do you think it's going to take to win this Derby? Be honest.
I mean,
you can't not have been catching. You've been out here a couple of days now. I mean, like Bart said, he's like, yeah, Joel probably got a bite here and a bite there, and he knows what he's going to do, and now he's going and trying a bunch of weird stuff, and he's not getting any bites. It's like him not getting any bites never happens.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some bites, but, you never really know. You never really know you're out of practice, and I don't know the river, so I really don't know what I'm on. And I'm hitting a lot of stuff that probably a bass has never lived there before, and people are probably driving by me and like, what the heck is he fishing? Because I don't know, but and we're gonna catch some bass. I mean, I don't winning weight. It's a 6-fish tournament.
Yeah, 6-fish tournament, which threw me off before because I didn't know that. And then Bart kept saying, "Oh, we're gonna need 24 or 22." This was last year in May.
Sure.
But he didn't mention that it was 6 fish. So I'm like, dude, we're going to be blasted like tanks, man. And he's like, yeah, no, a lot of 4-pounders. And I'm like, this math doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Then I realized it was 6 fish.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably take maybe, gosh, I hate
20
yeah,
day?
I'd say 20 a day.
Uh-huh.
20 a day, I think if I was to go out there and catch 20 pounds a day, I would feel really, really good about it. So.
And the cool thing is you can catch them on basically anything that moves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like
that's what's so cool with the river, man.
Yeah,
you can
things.
Go for brown fish, you can go for green fish, you can fish however you want, whatever, however you're comfortable. If you want to go throw frogs, if you want to go to the main river and throw finesse stuff, or if you want to, you can literally do anything.
Oh, do you know that kid who just qualified through the college?
I don't. I know that I fished against him in the Bass Nation team trail this year, and him and his dad fished it.
They're pretty strong, aren't they?
Whew. Yeah.
Like really strong?
Really good, yeah. Honestly, I don't know much about him. I know he can catch fish, obviously, and not real familiar with him, but happy for him and good to see a guy from Minnesota win.
All right, so you're headed to, I guess you have this event, and then you're headed to Harris Chain in December.
Early December, yeah.
Team tournament.
Yeah.
Try to make the Classic. That, like I said, that would be ironic if you fish the Opens, then you go in the end.
That's obviously the plan.
Have you been following the Opens with this chaos that's been going on with these 20-year-old kids?
Oh, yeah.
It's nuts.
Dude, I follow everything fishing.
What are your thoughts on that? So you come in this year, you have 175 guys. You got a bunch of guys who come over from the NPFL, which you fished for 2 years. You've got a bunch of MLF Invitational, which was the pro circuit guys, which you fished that before too, who drop and come over to the Opens. Then you have Ish and Bobby from the BPT that come over. I mean, you've got, I would say 50 out of the 175 guys who are established professional fishermen who provide for their family due to sponsor dollars, and they're fishing the Opens.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you look at the top 10 right now, there's not a single one of them in the top 10.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of those guys in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and have cashed 1 or 2 checks in the 9. And they're guys that you would just be like, oh, yeah, well, of course he's going to make it back like that. The dude's a pro fisherman. Like, he'll work through the Opens. It's been freaking kind of wild.
It has, man. It's, it seems like a lot of the guys in those top 10s have only been at the Opens for a couple of years.
Yeah, or first year, and they're all, not all, there's a lot that are 19 to 23 years old.
A lot of young guys, yeah.
And odd patterns. The one thing I've found this year, you can throw the book out the window when it comes to what to expect as far as doing your internet research on weights that it's going to take to top 10, weight that it's going to take to cash checks, areas of the lake, predominant patterns. Like, that's all out the window, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been wild. I mean, a few of the opens, I obviously always look at the results and all that. As far as really following along as how everybody's catching them, some of the tournaments that I've been fishing have overlapped with the opens, but yeah, I'm always following fishing.
You're a spinning rod guy, big time too. I've been surprised this year. So I'm a spinning rod guy, and I don't know if I was bullied into it or shamed into it, but I decided, listen, I'm going power fishing this year. For the majority of it, I think I was telling you, I think I've only caught probably 20% of my fish on a spinning rod. I've added fish on the spinning rod instead of the opposite. And there have been so many top 10s on a Ned Meeky, a drop shot. It's been shocking on non-traditional fisheries how much a spinning rod's played this year in the opens and top 10s and wins.
It's crazy. And I wonder how much of that is because of forward-facing sonar. You know, typically if I'm out offshore using my forward-facing sonar, I'm going to pick up a spinning rod, and it's just that's just what I do. But that's kind of my thought behind it. Is that the reason behind it?
I think so. I think it's also super pressured. I think the 5 days of practice we thought was going to be, but really 5 days still just puts the fish lockjaw. Oh. You did a lot of long practices before the 5 days, but you did a lot of non-fishing practice, right? You go to a place for 7-8 days, but you'd idle for 3 or 4?
Yeah. It kind of depended. There was some places that I would obviously practice longer, big bodies of water that had a lot of offshore stuff or fished real big, but honestly, 3 days of practice for me, when I fished the FLW Tour in 19, that's kind of what I, got accustomed to, and just I've kind of learned over the years that if I can just get myself into one area that's got some fish and just really break that down and figure out how to get bites, it always seemed to work better for me. So
you think 3 days is the right number for the
opens? I like 3 days. Yeah, I think 3 days is great. A lot of times you don't want to figure everything out in practice. You want to figure out what matters.
Yeah, all my mediocre tournaments this year, I figured them out during the tournaments. I didn't really have any good ones, so. But all right, we're gonna let you go. It is late. There are a couple more days of practice, and I think we're just gonna wrap things up for the show. Big shout out to Scott Bonema, his Real Live Well app.
Real Live Well app. Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out if you guys have any interest. I didn't realize you could just sign up for that and do it against buddies or 5 or 10 people or a small club. You can do inches. You can do the conversions. Honestly, was not familiar with that before today, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I wasn't, because it sounds like is it easy to use?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We just fished a tournament up on Mille Lacs. Excuse me, up on Mille Lacs a couple weeks ago. Fished one with Josh Douglas, and we used that app it was a measuring tournament.
Okay.
So it wasn't by weight. So they did the conversion. You measure the fish, did all the pictures, all that stuff, and then they converted it. And I figured out how to use it, so it was pretty easy.
I was thinking in Oklahoma that might help, because we just went to, you cannot box fish. You can only box one fish over 16 inches, because we just went to I haven't even figured it out because I don't keep bass up there.
Sure.
But you have to have a tournament permit and then a code for it if you're running a tournament to have fish over 16, and then it's a slot under 16. The rest have to be under 16.
Really?
Yeah. So with this app, you could still do a club tournament or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your best 5 and have all that stuff.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's a super cool app, and they got it completely dialed. I know they put a lot of work into it, and just figured out everything that you want to have exactly how you want it. They basically got it all dialed in. So.
All right, we're gonna let you get back to the campground. We're gonna wrap things up for tonight. Thanks for staying patient.
Is Gretchen coming?
No, Gretchen just did a whole show on Monday.
She did? Okay.
Yeah, she's just coming to hang out.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, that would freak her out if we just were hey, just jump on BC.
I started chilling out there. I was
because she was wanted to know what we were going to talk about on Monday and everything. So no, she's just hanging out with everyone else. So we're going to go out and have a few more spotted cows. Spotted cows. So there's there's like a sampler pack that you can get from them.
Okay.
One of them's like the Happy Sister or something. That one was pretty good. And then the Totally Naked one is good, and then the Spotted Cow.
There's a Fat Squirrel too. It's pretty good.
Fat Squirrel?
Fat Squirrel.
I'm gonna have to try that. Hopefully
Unless they don't make it anymore, but
well, we got sampler pack, so
okay.
I'm hoping it's in. Oh yeah, it's right there. Does it say?
Over there,
I don't know if it says. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Hey, thanks for jumping on. I know it's been a little bit of a late night, 8:30 Central Time. We probably could have done 7:30. I didn't realize it got dark at 6:45 up here. Is that a daylight saving time thing?
Yeah.
Since we don't have daylight savings time
it'll
now.
continue.
Yeah.
Another month, it'll be dark at like 5.
Yeah. We'll get through that, and then before we know it, it'll be spawning season. So thanks for jumping on another edition of BTL. Tomorrow morning, Frank Scalish Day 4 will air at 8:30 on BTL, 8:30 a.m. It is a show titled Small Baits, Big Bass. You don't know anything about that, do you?
Small baits. I don't know anything about big bass.
Will spent his whole career catching big bass on small baits. So, all right, thanks for jumping on. This has been another edition of BTL. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Later.